too much noise because I feel like the guy's gonna be like listening at the door.
Okay, so what am I gonna do?
I don't know.
So what am I gonna do?
Just go listen at the door, please. I'll make some noise like we're doing it.
90 Day Fiancé star Darcy Silva is never one to shy away from the dramatic, and her recent trip to Bulgaria with husband Georgi proves exactly that. In a hilarious and unexpected twist, Darcy performed a full-on moan test to check her hotel room's acoustics before diving into her steamy honeymoon night. But while she was prepping for romance, Georgi had something else on his mind, and it wasn't passion. Before they could even get to the fun part, Darcy grew anxious that the walls might be too thin. The last thing she wanted was an audience of strangers overhearing her in the heat of the moment. So, she kicked Georgi out of the room and threw herself onto the bed for a mock session of moans and groans, complete with dramatic air humping and over-the-top theatrics. George's reaction? He said it sounded like a little dog or a tiny horse in distress. Yes, really. But for Darcy, this wasn't just about noise levels. It was about reclaiming the passion in their relationship. "We really need this honeymoon," she declared, unapologetically ready to reignite the spark. But behind the laughter and bedroom antics, Georgi was battling a much deeper concern, introducing Darcy to his parents. Despite their deep love, he admitted feeling pressure from his family, who have high expectations when it comes to his future wife. He confided in Darcy that he wasn't sure if she would meet those expectations, or if his parents were even ready to accept her as she is. This confession hit Darcy hard. "Are you embarrassed of me?" she asked, visibly hurt. Georgi quickly denied it, saying he just didn't know how they'd react. He even revealed he tried to guide her on how to dress more modestly for the meeting, adding another layer of awkwardness and emotional tension between them. Darcy, however, wasn't going to let the pressure get to her. In her mind, this trip was about love, not approval. "We're here to have the honeymoon we've always wanted," she insisted. And despite their honeymoon suite being under renovation, she was determined to turn their room and their time together into something memorable. She's also using this time to rebuild and reconnect. Darcy opened up about wanting to fall in love with Georgi all over again, not just physically, but emotionally too. After years of on and off romance, drama, and family tensions, this trip to Bulgaria is their chance at a reset. From wild bedroom antics to heartfelt confessions, the couple's journey is anything but boring. And while Darcy may be louder than the hotel walls can handle, she's also more committed than ever to making things work. So, will George's parents accept Darcy? Will the couple survive the judgment and stay strong together? Or will the pressure tear them apart again? One thing's for sure, this honeymoon is one for the books.
Este o petrecere pentru că noi am decis să ne mutăm în Moldova. Da, Elizabeth?
I'm not fluent in Romanian yet. Some things get lost in translation, and this is actually one of those moments. I feel kind of stupid because I don't know what's going on.
Andrei Castrovet has dropped a massive bombshell, and his wife, Elizabeth Pothist, had no idea it was coming. In what fans are calling one of the most jaw-dropping moments this season, Andrei publicly announced their relocation to Moldova without even telling Libby first. Their storyline, once filled with mutual dreams and family building, has now taken a sharp turn toward control, confusion, and emotional betrayal. Andreis' relocation dream, or obsession. 4 months, Andrei has been trying to persuade Libby to move back to his homeland of Moldova. He's repeatedly claimed that a slower pace of life, cheaper cost of living, and stronger family ties would benefit their children. But Libby has remained hesitant. She couldn't picture uprooting their lives in America, away from her support system, language, and career, to start over in a country she barely knows. So, in an effort to compromise, Libby agreed to a short trip to Moldova with their children. The goal? To explore the culture, observe a lifestyle, and see if there was a future for them there. What she didn't expect was that Andrei had already made the decision, with or without her. During their visit, Andrei organized a lavish dinner party with his entire Moldovan family. Libby thought it was just another family gathering, until Andrei stood up and made a grand announcement in Romanian, one that left his wife completely confused. She smiled politely, trying to piece together the conversation, only to later discover that he had just told everyone they were moving to Moldova. "I feel kind of stupid," Libby later admitted in a confessional. "I don't know what's going on. I don't speak the language fluently, and some things just get lost in translation. This is definitely one of them." To make things even more awkward, Andrei took the family upstairs to watch fireworks, turning the evening into a full-blown celebration, while Libby stood there, shell-shocked and visibly blindsided. "I thought I was at a dinner," she added. "This feels more like a wedding reception. Only I didn't know what we were celebrating." Before the Moldova trip, tensions had already begun boiling over during Loren and Alexei's housewarming party in Florida. Andrei once again brought up his relocation plan in front of their friends, prompting Loren's friend Noga to confront him about pressuring Libby and disrespecting women. Loren herself called Andrei out, asking, "If you wanted to live in Moldova so badly, why did you move here in the first place?" Andreis' answer was blunt, "I came here for Libby." But now, he claims his remote job gives them the flexibility to live anywhere, and Moldova is where he believes they truly belong. Libby, however, doesn't share that vision. Later, Libby clapped back at Loren for inserting herself into their marriage, saying her best friend was being too nosy and stirring the pot. Back in Moldova, Libby has been struggling behind the scenes. From sharing a cramped home with Andreis' family to using a single bathroom for everyone, the experience has left her emotionally drained. The language barrier, the cultural shift, and Andreis' forceful behavior have only made things worse. And now, with Andrei unilaterally announcing their move, in front of his entire family, viewers are wondering how much more Libby can take before she pushes back for good. Social media lit up after the surprise announcement. One fan posted, "I've never seen someone ambush their own wife like that. Andrei crossed a line." Another wrote, "This isn't love, it's control. Libby deserves to be part of the decision, not the last to know." Others, however, defended Andrei, claiming he's just trying to reconnect with his roots and give his kids a simpler, family-focused life. What's next? As the drama continues to unfold, fans are left wondering, will Libby agree to the move now that the secret is out? Will Andrei realize he's alienating the woman he claims to love? And will this marriage survive what's clearly a growing divide? One thing's for sure, this isn't just about where they live. It's about power, trust, and respect. And right now, it looks like Andrei may have burned a bridge that'll be hard to rebuild. 90 Day Fiancé star Jasmine Pineda has officially closed the chapter on her life in America. In a move that shocked fans and marked the end of one of the franchise's most talked about relationships, Jasmine packed her bags and returned home to Panama, and she's doing it on her own terms. The reality star recently took to Instagram with a series of sun-soaked photos on the beach, flaunting peace, freedom, and a newfound confidence. But her tearful caption revealed something much deeper. Jasmine wasn't just sharing vacation snapshots, she was announcing a life-altering change. Her message, happily ever after? More like happily done explaining myself. Gone are the days of emotional confrontations and desperate attempts to make things work. Jasmine is no longer in America, no longer trying to prove herself, and no longer with Gino Palazzolo. That's right, Gino, who once claimed he'd do anything to keep Jasmine by his side, is now the one pulling the plug. He dropped a bombshell by asking for a divorce, even while Jasmine was still hoping to reconcile and salvage their turbulent marriage. But there's a twist. Gino isn't planning to finalize the divorce just yet. He openly admitted he's waiting for the recession to hit before filing, citing financial reasons and market timing. The real kicker? Gino accused Jasmine of cheating and claims he has phone records to prove that she was talking to Matt, the man she later introduced during her open marriage pitch. According to Gino, the betrayal happened long before Jasmine brought up the idea of a non-traditional relationship, and he believes he has all the proof he needs. Meanwhile, Jasmine seems unbothered. In fact, she appears to be thriving. Her recent Instagram post tagged her location as Panama, confirming that she's back in her homeland and not alone. She was spotted enjoying the beach with Matt and his son Maddie, suggesting that she may have already moved on with her new partner and is focusing on her family life and peace. In a cryptic but pointed message, Jasmine added, "Fairy tales don't come with gaslighting, so I'm writing my own ending." It's clear Jasmine is no longer interested in drama or public defense. She's done explaining her actions, done fighting for a broken relationship, and done letting anyone else narrate her story. She's choosing herself, and fans are rallying behind her. The comment section on her post was flooded with support. Many praised Jasmine for standing tall, making the bold choice to leave a toxic situation and finally putting herself and her children first. Though it's undeniably the end of Jasmine and Gino's roller coaster romance, it might just be the beginning of Jasmine's true happily ever after, one where she gets to write the rules. So what's next for Jasmine Pineda? A quiet life in Panama? A fresh start with Matt? Or a bold new chapter of self-love and healing? One thing's for sure, this Jasmine isn't looking back. 90 Day Fiancé star Annie Sowen is clapping back at critics in the most empowering way possible by proudly owning her postpartum journey and silencing the body shamers who tried to bring her down. Annie has been under the spotlight ever since she and husband David Toborowski welcomed their first child, baby Minthirarat, in March 2025 in her hometown of Bueng Kan, Thailand. But instead of being celebrated, the new mom became the target of cruel trolls criticizing her postpartum weight gain, an experience that took a toll on her mental health. However, Annie didn't let the negativity break her spirit. She stood tall, channeling her pain into power. In a recent emotional post, she addressed the body shaming directly, sharing photos of herself confidently riding a bicycle along the streets of Pattaya. Her caption read, "I'm not sure if they realize, I just had a baby not long ago. I'm letting my body heal on its own. This is my journey, not for them, but for me." Annie's raw and honest words struck a chord with her fans, who quickly flooded her comment section with love and support. Annie made it clear, she's not shrinking herself for anyone's approval. Just months ago, Annie had broken down in tears during a serious health scare involving baby Minthira. The terrifying moment tested her strength, but with the help of her loving husband David and her mother, who traveled from her village to meet her granddaughter, Annie came through stronger than ever. Now, as their daughter recovers and blossoms, Annie is once again stepping into the spotlight, not as a reality star, but as a proud mom reclaiming her narrative. David has been Annie's rock throughout. Not only did he gift her a luxurious push present following Minthira's birth, but he also chose to stay by her side in Thailand, despite feeling homesick for his family in Arizona. He briefly visited the US in May to reunite with his adult children and grandchildren, but rushed back to Annie and Minthira, overwhelmed with love and gratitude. Upon return, he wrapped his wife in a long embrace and spent hours bonding with their baby girl. The couple, who runs several thriving online businesses, have embraced Thailand's laid-back luxury lifestyle. From scenic bike rides to condo investments, they've built a dream life, one they may eventually leave behind. David hinted they might move back to the US after Minthira turns 1. But for now, they're focused on healing, happiness, and growth. Annie's postpartum transformation is more than just physical. She's glowing emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Despite delivering via C-section, she has slowly but steadily rebuilt her strength. Longtime fans remember her 2022 weight loss journey when she proudly flaunted a toned figure and cinched waist. Now, her post-baby evolution is equally inspiring, not because of how she looks, but because of what she's overcome. Her message is clear. Critics don't define her, she does. And with every bike ride and every word of encouragement she shares, Annie Sowen is proving that motherhood, in all its forms, is a story of courage, resilience, and unapologetic self-love. 90 Day Fiancé fans are reeling after a deeply emotional update from David Dangerfield and Sheila Mangubat, one of the franchise's most genuine and beloved couples. Their long-distance relationship, which began with a touching connection and the promise of a better future, now appears to be hanging by a thread, or possibly already over. After more than 4 years of loving each other across continents and enduring the slow, agonizing wait for AK-1 visa, the couple has hinted that their relationship might have reached its heartbreaking end. David and Sheila's journey started with hope, sacrifice, and resilience. David, who is deaf, traveled to the Philippines to meet Sheila and was visibly emotional upon witnessing her living conditions. He vowed to bring her and her son to the US and build a better life for them. But just days after his visit, Sheila's mother tragically passed away, deepening the emotional gravity of their story. David didn't walk away. He began working multiple jobs, sacrificing his own comfort to fund Sheila's visa application and to prepare a home in America for her and her son. Viewers rooted for them, inspired by the depth of their commitment and the raw, unfiltered love they displayed on screen. But as the months turned into years, the wait for the visa began to take its toll, especially on Sheila. In a recent Instagram update, David shared worrying news. Sheila had been hospitalized due to worsening anxiety. According to her doctors, she may need up to 20 medical visits a year, highlighting the severe mental health toll the ongoing uncertainty and distance has caused. Fans quickly connected the dots. The stalled immigration process, repeated disappointments, financial strain, and prolonged separation have pushed Sheila to the edge. David, clearly distressed, pleaded with fans not to judge or accuse them of seeking attention. He emphasized that they're still waiting on the embassy's response, and that this situation is far from something they wanted. In a black and white Instagram photo of the couple, a haunting image now viewed as a symbol of heartbreak, David included a gut-wrenching message. Sheila told me if we are over, she and I would never come back again. After years of dedication, loyalty, and shared dreams, it seems reality is pulling David and Sheila apart. Not because the love is gone, but because the circumstances are too heavy to carry anymore. As reported by 90 Day Fiancé Update, both David and Sheila are considering a permanent breakup. While they haven't officially announced the end of their relationship, the signs are clear. The emotional weight, mental health struggles, and immigration delays may have left them with no other option. David expressed that he simply can't afford to keep traveling back and forth to the Philippines. Meanwhile, Sheila may be at the point where continuing to wait is only causing her more pain. Instead of risking another heartbreak, she may have decided to step away before the damage becomes irreversible. The 90 Day Fiancé fan community has responded with empathy and heartbreak. Many have followed David and Sheila's journey from day one, watching their struggles unfold with raw authenticity. Now, seeing them come so close to their dreams only to fall short is a bitter pill to swallow. One fan wrote, "This isn't a storyline. It's real love facing real-world heartbreak. My heart breaks for both of them." Another added, "Sometimes love just isn't enough when the world keeps throwing obstacles in your way." David and Sheila haven't officially declared the end, but all signs suggest they're bracing for it. If they do separate, theirs will be remembered as one of the most heartfelt, genuine, and tragically real love stories the franchise has ever told. From poverty and loss to proposals and promises, David and Sheila gave it everything they had. And now, if this is truly the end, fans will mourn not just the relationship, but what it represented. A pure kind of love that deserved better from the world around it. 90 Day Fiancé fans have followed the personal journeys of many cast members, but some stories leave a deeper impact, especially when they reveal vulnerable health struggles behind the scenes. Over the years, several stars have bravely opened up about their medical battles, using their platforms not just to share their truth, but to raise awareness and inspire others. Lauren Brovarnik has long been an advocate for Tourette syndrome, even becoming a brand ambassador for the Tourette Association of America. She's helped educate thousands on what living with the condition really looks like. Avery Mills shocked fans when she revealed her lupus diagnosis, which came after she developed 5 serious infections, allegedly from contaminated food and even someone's saliva mixed in with her meal. Jasmine Pineda has openly battled with multiple chronic health conditions, including arrhythmia, alopecia, high-functioning depression, and lipedema, giving followers a glimpse into the hidden toll these illnesses take on her daily life. But one of the most heartbreaking and raw health revelations comes from Julia Trapkina, who opened up during Season 2 of 90 Day. The last resort about her infertility and the emotional weight she's carried for years. During a past trip to see doctors in Russia, Julia received devastating news. She was told she could never conceive a child. The diagnosis shattered her. "When the doctor in Russia told me I can't have kids, it felt like a knife in my chest," she tearfully admitted during a confessional. The trauma from that moment ran so deep that Julia kept the truth from her husband Brandon Gibbs for a long time. She didn't want to revisit the pain. She refused a second opinion, terrified of reliving the heartbreak. The idea of seeing hope in Brandon's eyes, only to have it crushed again, was simply too much. But things changed in the season finale. With the support and pressure from Brandon and his family, Julia reluctantly agreed to revisit the doctors and re-explore her fertility options. Still, not everyone handled the moment with care. Fans were outraged when they saw how aggressively Brandon's parents pushed Julia about her fertility, with many accusing his mother of crossing serious boundaries. Viewers flooded social media, slamming Brandon for allowing his wife to be publicly questioned and humiliated by his family, and demanded that he stand up for Julia once and for all. After months of hesitation, Julia finally went in for a fertility consultation, but not without immense fear. She confessed to having a panic attack in the car before the appointment, overwhelmed with anxiety and flashbacks of her painful past. Brandon, on the other hand, was optimistic and excited. He still dreams of having lots of babies with Julia and was proud of her for taking this step forward. But for Julia, the journey was anything but easy. She underwent a saline sonogram, a test that helps detect abnormalities in the uterus, and blood work to be followed up 2 weeks later. And what doctors found left her stunned. Julia learned she had a polyp, a small tissue growth inside her uterus. According to the specialists, this could disrupt embryo implantation, acting almost like an internal barrier. The embryo could be knocked around or knocked off, Julia explained. But that wasn't the only problem. Doctors also found signs of an adhesion, a form of scar tissue that could be blocking sperm from entering the uterus altogether. What made the diagnosis even more devastating was that none of this was revealed during her initial consultations in Russia. Julia was now facing the emotional weight of not just infertility, but years of misinformation and delay. She expressed her fear of the follow-up visit, confessing that she was terrified of hearing worse news. "It's hard to go through this again. What if they tell me something is even more wrong?" she said. Throughout this journey, Julia's strength and vulnerability have shown through, but it's clear the emotional toll has been immense. Fertility issues are already complex, but navigating them under the spotlight of reality TV, with in-laws pressing for answers, adds another layer of pressure. Her story struck a chord with viewers, especially those who have faced similar silent struggles with infertility, trauma from medical diagnoses, and the burden of expectations from loved ones. Fans have flooded forums and social media with messages of support and outrage. One viewer wrote, "This isn't just a storyline. Julia's pain is real. The way Brandon's mom talks to her is unforgivable." Another added, "Infertility is not just physical. It's emotional warfare. Julia is so brave for sharing this." What's next? Julia's journey is far from over. She's waiting for final test results, and with Brandon by her side, she may begin exploring treatment options. Whether or not they can conceive biologically, fans are hoping the couple will find peace and clarity, and perhaps even consider alternate paths to parenthood like IVF or adoption. What's clear is this: Julia Trepkina's voice is now part of a much bigger conversation, one about reproductive health, trauma, and the power of speaking out. 90 Day Fiancé star Jasmine Pineda has officially stepped into her new era, and she's doing it unapologetically. After a whirlwind of heartbreak, controversy, and emotional showdowns, Jasmine has left the drama with Gino Palazzolo behind and embraced a bold new life with Matt Brownies. And yes, she's now expecting his baby. In the latest explosive season of Happily Ever After Season 9, Jasmine is documenting every twist and turn of her life, from her open marriage fallout to her fresh start with Matt. And fans are still catching their breath. The once fiery, conflicted, and desperate to make it work Jasmine has evolved into a woman who's prioritizing peace, motherhood, and self-worth. The cheating allegations. Did Jasmine cross a line? Gino Palazzolo dropped a major bombshell when he officially asked for a divorce from Jasmine on the show. His reason? He claimed that Jasmine had already been talking to Matt months before their open marriage discussions began. A revelation that he says came from checking phone records. To Gino, this meant one thing. Jasmine tricked him into agreeing to an open marriage while already emotionally and perhaps romantically involved with someone else. But Jasmine, she's not staying silent. She fired back on national TV, defending herself and clarifying the timeline of her relationship with Matt. According to her, the emotional bond with Matt began after months of therapy sessions with Gino, sessions that were supposed to heal their marriage, but instead left her even more alone. Jasmine says she waited and waited for Gino to change, to hear her, to fight for their love, but he never did. The tension hit a fever pitch when Jasmine revealed her pregnancy, and that Matt is the father. The news sent shockwaves through the fanbase, with many assuming it confirmed Gino's worst fears, that Jasmine had been cheating long before anything was openly discussed. But again, Jasmine held her ground. She insists the timeline aligns with the end of her emotional ties with Gino. She had already emotionally checked out, and Matt was there through the fallout. He wasn't just a rebound, he was a man who stood by her, respected her, and showed up when Gino didn't. To further declare her freedom and joy, Jasmine recently shared a sizzling beachside photo shoot with Matt. Clad in a striking black bikini, she posed affectionately with her baby daddy, soaking up the sun and embracing her new life. Her caption, "Happily ever after?" More like happily done explaining myself. She added, "Catch me on 90 Day Fiancé. Happily ever after. Unbothered, unfiltered, and finally choosing me." This isn't just a comeback, it's a rebrand. Jasmine is done playing the villain or the victim. She's reclaiming her narrative, rewriting her ending, and telling the world that fairy tales don't end in gaslighting. Despite the controversy, Jasmine is receiving major support from fans who are happy to see her finally prioritizing herself. One fan wrote, "Through BS and heartbreak, Matt is the kind of man you deserve in your life." Another added, "Say what you want, but Jasmine choosing happiness and peace after everything. I respect it." Viewers who once criticized her are now praising her vulnerability and growth, especially for opening up about her struggles, heartbreak, and rebirth, all while cameras rolled. What's next for Jasmine? Rumors are swirling that Jasmine may be headed for more screen time, possibly her own spin-off focusing on motherhood, healing, and her life in Panama with Matt and their growing family. Whether or not that's true, one thing's certain. Jasmine Pineda is no longer trying to fit into anyone's mold. She's not asking for forgiveness. She's not asking for approval. She's just living, on her own terms, with the man who never asked her to shrink. And fans, they're watching every second of it.